So our next topic is reversing method of solving algebraic equations. So before we do this method, there are two things which I would like to highlight. The first is you should be able to recognize one term and many terms. It looks very simple, but believe me, there are a lot of students doing mistake in recognizing whether it's a one term or there are many terms. So this is the first thing. For example, if we have 5x plus 3 is equal to 2, so here there are two terms. Wherever there is a sign, it means there are two terms. Now 5x is first term and plus 3 is second term. If I make this a group and put a 3 outside, now this whole becomes one term, because now it's a group, and group means that parentheses are starting at this point and ending at this point. So it makes a group, and when one group is multiplied by another term, still it stays one term. So you should be able to understand whether it's a one term or there are two terms. So this is the first thing. And the second thing is the concept of reciprocals and inverse, additive inverse. So if I have a number 3 divided by 5, so its reciprocal would be 5 divided by 3, which is also called multiplicative inverse, and its additive inverse would be minus 3 by 5. Minus 3 by 5, because it has a plus sign here, implicit plus sign, which is not shown. So this will be additive inverse, and this will be its reciprocal. These two things you should understand, and you already know these things. And if you don't know this, please watch the lecture about reciprocals and inverse. And once you are comfortable with these two concepts, then you are ready to understand the reversing method of solving equations. Now the question is why we are using this method. So what we are trying to achieve here is we are trying to just save some time by skipping one step. And I will explain this in a minute. So when there are many steps in a question, you can save a lot of time. For example, we have a question like, so this is an example, and I will explain this by doing this in balance method and in reversing method, so you can understand what is the difference. So 8x minus 10 equals 30. So in balance method, because there are two terms, so we want to eliminate this term minus 10. So we will add plus 10. So 8x minus 10 plus 10. And to balance that, we have to add plus 10 on the other side. This is what we do. So after the next step, 8x equals 40. So this is the way we do. Now what we do in reversing method is that we say that let me put the same question, 8x minus 10 equal 30. So what we do in reversing method is we, instead of trying to remove this term minus 10, we take this term to the other side of the equation. So this is the equation, this is one side, and this equation side, this is left hand side, and this equation sign distinguishes the two sides. So this is right hand side. So instead of eliminating this term, we take this term, we take this to the other side and replace this with its additive inverse. So what we do, the next step would be 8x, then equal sign, then 30, and then minus 10 when goes to the other side, it becomes plus 10. The additive inverse, so we take the additive inverse of this on the other side, because this term is being added. And if it was being multiplied by something, then we will be doing the multiplicative inverse, the reciprocal of this term. So now we have saved this step, and we are straight to the next step, which is 8x equals 40. The next step is, now we have 8x, so we will divide here by 8 on both sides, and then we will simplify x equals 5. Here we don't do this, we simply take this 8 and divide it on the other side. 40 divided by 8 because 8 is being multiplied on this side. So now we divide it on the other side because the reciprocal of 8 is 1 divided by 8. So we multiply 1 divided by 8 on the other side and we again get x equals 5. So in this way we try to make the process a little quicker. So when we do some more examples, you will be familiar and you will be fluent with this method. So let's take another example. 2x plus 3 minus 4 equals 10. This is one term. This is one term. Because of this grouping sign, 2 into x plus 3 is one term and minus 4 is the second term. So what we do in this case, we take this term to the other side of the equation and instead of minus 4 we write plus 4. So the next step would be, we can open this bracket at this step, but I'm just trying to explain this, so I keep it like this. So one step at a time. 10 plus 4. Now we have 2x plus 6 equals 14. Now we have two terms here. So when two terms, so we take this term to the other side. So 2x equals 14 minus 6. 2x equals 8. Now x equals 2 is being multiplied on this side. So we will divide it, or we can say that we will multiply the reciprocal of this number on the other side. And we take this to the other side, which brings x equals 4. So this will be the solution. So you see, it's more simple, it's more efficient method of solving algebraic equations. Another example, now this example has variable on both sides. Let's take 6x minus 10 equals 4x plus 2. So one thing you should keep in mind that when solving questions using reversing method, you should always use one step at a time, because it looks very simple to add steps, but if you try to add too many steps, then you will do mistakes. So one step at a time. So let's take this example and see how we proceed. So the first thing is that we want all x terms on the left hand side. So we want to bring this 4x on this side. So one step at a time. So 6x. And we can combine x terms together, no problem. So I will write this minus 4x before 10 so that we can combine this equals 2. So 4x when comes to this side, it becomes minus 4x. The additive inverse of 4x is minus 4x. So we take minus 4x on this side. So whenever we take term from one side to the other, we take the additive inverse if the term is being added. So 6x minus 4x, again we can take common here. We can take x common, and 6 minus 4 minus 10 equals 2. Now 6 minus 4 is 2, so it is 2x. 2x minus 10 equals 2. Now we can take this 10 on the other side, minus 10 to the other side. So this will become plus 10. So 2x equals 2 plus 10, which is 12. So 2x equals 12. I'm just writing this extra step to demonstrate to you. Otherwise you can skip this. So now this 2 is being multiplied here. So we will multiply, we will take this to the other side and we will multiply with the reciprocal of 2, which is 1 divided by 2, or in other words we can say that 2 is being multiplied, we will divide 2. When we take this 2 to the other side, we just divide by 2. So as x equals 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Now take another example. This is more complex. It has two groups. One is inner group and one is outer group. So 5 and we start the outer group. When there are two types of group, we normally use curly brackets and parentheses. So then 4 inside, and then the inner group, which has x plus 1. And then inner group close, and then outer group also closes here. Then minus 2x equals 30 plus 8x. So here we have x terms on both sides and also two groups. One is inner group. So in this case, we start from the inner group. Always start from the inner group and then go out. So from inner to out. Remember the tip for the beginners: when there are brackets, the easiest way is to first open the brackets. So I will just keep this outer 5 here, and I'll just open the inner group. So which is 4x plus 4 minus 2x is equal to 30 plus 8x. So now we open again. So it becomes 20x plus 20 minus 2x. And at this stage, I can save time by bringing this 8x to this side of equation and replacing 8x with minus 8x. So minus 8x equals 30. Now I can combine all these x together, and I can write 20x minus 2x minus 8x, and I can bring this 20 in this step. I can bring this to the other side and change it to minus 20. So 30 minus 20. Now I can take x common from these, and I will be left with 20 minus 2 minus 8. And if you don't know how to take common, take the lecture. There is a lecture video for taking commons. And 30 minus 20 is 10. Now 20 minus 2 minus 8 is 10. So 10x equals 10. And now x is being multiplied here. Take this to the other side and divide it, which gives us x equal 1. So it was looking very complex, and it was having values on both variables on both sides, but it proved to be very simple and very quick and efficient. So using the reversing method, you can save a lot of time. Simply take the term to the other sides and change the sign. Or if the term is being multiplied, you divide it. If something is being divided on the left hand side, you take it to the other side and multiply it. I hope this will explain to you how to use reversing method to solve the algebraic equations. Now, only if you practice this a lot, then you will save time, because practice makes you perfect. So there will be a lot of questions in homework, and in quizzes I will not ask questions like this because this is taking too much time. But these type of questions will be in homework, and in quizzes there will be some simple conceptual questions which you should also attempt. So this was it for reversing method, and I hope now you will be able to solve all the homework questions.